Hey, what's up? This is just a short video about this article in Bloomberg called The Trash Mountains of Southeast Asia That Threaten the Climate. And it basically discusses how methane from rotting waste in these open landfills are causing massive issues in countries like India, Pakistan, of course, also in the US. But landfill methane to a great extent is a major problem in a country like India. We are all very well aware of the massive open dump sites that we find across our country. Here you see this photograph here is of course of the Ghazipur landfill site, and so is this video. So the challenge here, a lot of these, which a lot of these articles are not talking about, is how government policy is actually assisting in ensuring that these landfills remain filled with waste and continue to grow. And one of those policies is called the tipping fee model, whereby the government actually pays a lot of these private contractors money to dump waste based on a per kilogram or per ton basis. So they are incentivized to dump more. So the more they dump, the more they bill the government, and the more the government pays them. So this is one massive issue. I just want to talk about some numbers over here. This over here, you can see this graph over here. This is basically talking about the amount of methane released in Southeast Asia driven by sources like dumps and rice cultivation. You can see for India, majority of the methane release is coming from landfills, and very little from coal. Whereas if you look at the US, you're seeing most is coming from oil and gas, very little from coal, and then of course, because from landfills, there's very little methane that is being emitted in the US because they have scientific landfill sites which actually flare a lot of the methane that comes out, or also converted into energy. Another crazy stat that I've read in this article is this, and I'll read it out for you guys. The Ghazipur dump on the outskirts of India's capital, New Delhi, spewed roughly 2.17 metric tons of methane an hour on March 22nd, the day a GHGS satellite passed overhead. If that emission rate was sustained over a year, the leak would have the same short-term climate impact as the annual emissions of 350,000 US cars, which again is it's a mind-boggling figure. Here in this video, you can see workers who are gathering scrap that is harvested from the Ghazipur landfill site. Of course, the landfill sites are also cartels because there are a lot of issues on landfill sites whereby cartels that control these landfill sites also give permission to various groups or individuals to operate there and remove all of the precious metals that are dumped there, or plastic that is dumped there. Also, a lot of stuff such as metal waste is set on fire. PVC plastic waste is set on fire in these landfill sites to recover precious copper wires that are present within the PVC coating on top, and also metal such as e-waste and other things that they find are set on fire so that they can then recover precious metals that are encased within the packaging outside. Of course, the government knows and the authorities know that all of this is happening, and there is a nexus, there is a cartel, and there is a heavy presence of the mafia on a lot of these landfill sites that is only adding fuel to the fire. So yes, of course, composting is very important at home. If you can compost at home, please compost at home, because that will ensure that the minimum amount of organic waste goes out. Also, segregate your waste in different categories so that it becomes a lot easier for the unorganized sector and the organized recycling players in this sector to then process your waste without deploying or too many capital resources. But that said, that is not the only thing. Just because you segregate your waste and give it to somebody doesn't mean it's getting recycled or it's getting processed or it's going to the right place. A lot of your waste does end up in the landfill sites. And this is a policy related issue as much as individual responsibility of segregating and minimizing the waste, but it's also a policy issue of incentivizing the wrong things. So I'm going to do more videos on this topic soon. Until then, I'm going to post the link of this article in this post down below, and you can read it to get a better understanding of what they are saying and what is happening in the waste management sector here in India. Thank you.